Alright, hello. This is Cosmo50 from Hardware Diversity Discussion here today. Haven't been too active with the gaming for a while, as my PC's been away for repair for the last couple of weeks essentially, and have been using my laptop for the last few days due to that. I've just it's the saga around just around the video card and things apparently not working and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully this week we'll have that sorted and I'll be back to the full capacity. But I thought, I haven't streamed, I'll do the weekly HDD show stream. Welcome to everybody in chat. Not that I have anybody at the moment, but I'll have a look here in a second. So I thought we will just do some updates with that in terms of just my laptop's it's not great. I mean, it's definitely you can't game on it, even though I did buy originally for gaming. I mean, that was the point of having an i7 and 8 gigs of RAM and a graphics card that's nowhere near good enough as it says it is. But it just does not seem to play games very well at all. Like, I was trying to run BF3 on it a couple of years ago, and it just would barely play itself. Like, it would be like 30 frames a second on medium settings or something at native resolution. Like, you wouldn't step it up to 1080p, not at all. I didn't have my 1080p monitor at the time, but it was a bit of a shame, really, that that's the reality of what went on. I mean, it does probably need a clean, does need a bit of a reconfiguration, perhaps, but I've reinstalled Windows on it. It seems to be running a bit better than what it was, but not at all happy with that. I'm running my keyboard and mouse and my external monitor off this as well, so I mean, I'm streaming at 1366 by 768, but I'm using my 1080p monitor off it too, which is always good. I did have my computer back for a while, actually, come to think of it, when I swapped power supply and swapped graphics card over, but I wasn't actually able to stream games. You could play games on it, but you wouldn't be able to stream games. And so that was the reality of that side of things, which is a bit sad, but it's one of those things, you kind of have to get used to and want to actually kind of go from there. So we will see what happens when it gets back. Hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, probably more likely at this stage, but I can assure you that I will get it back, and hopefully in a more working condition. Because as I said, I have my graphics card. I took it down to the shop and my power supply, and there's no issues. So I really do not know what's going on with that. It must be something wrong with the configuration. I could have tried installing Windows 7 or something like that, but besides that, it's going to be a relatively short episode. I don't have many topics to talk about today, but next week, hopefully, I may cancel the HDD show. You heard it here first, but I might just leap on to some gaming twice next weekend. We'll see what happens, but another short piece of news before we move on. I was at the Oceanic University Championship viewing party in Megazone in Dunedin last night. Great show, and Auckland came on top of the New South Wales University team, so very happy about that. 3-1 the series was, so that was. I didn't watch any of the qualifiers or the semis or quarterfinals, but I can assure you that was probably fairly competitive as well. And last but not least, just to plug the Dunedin and Southland, Otago Southland League of Legends high school championship. It's the first of its kind in New Zealand, I have heard, and me and a couple of guys are running that event in the next 2-3 weeks. I see, depends on what we were planning for next week, starting this weekend, but we did not get enough teams to start the tournament, so we're going to push that back possibly a week or two. So hopefully, hopefully we will go on to that. But yeah, so that's going to be definitely, hopefully, maybe just more widespread than just Otago and Southland at this stage. But yeah, that will be interesting to say the least. Anyway, to see if it's it gets adopted more widely, just our region. But I'm definitely in charge of this region, and if people want to look into that, so get in contact with me or get in contact with the page. I might link that somewhere. Also, oh man, so much news. I am now a streamer on the 18 Gaming Community Gamebox. I will get my Twitch sorted when I get back with my other computer, with having links to that and having ability to log in and join in with games and streams and stuff like that. If I have a future guest on, I may use Gamebox instead of Skype or Steam Chat, as I did with Josh, and Theo. We use Skype, but yeah, I think Gamebox is a bit more of a central place where you can have things going on. So hopefully, hopefully we'll go with that. So that's the news. 16 minutes, about 7 or 8 minutes of news, so that's not too long, because I had about 8 or 9 minutes of the ticking time bomb countdown. So move on to our first topic. We have 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6 topics, so relatively skim, but there's 2 that we can talk about in mass, so that will be kind of why it's 5 instead of 7 or 8. So we will put the Chrome window on. Oh no, you're kidding. Oh man, this is one thing I don't like about OBS, but we will fix that. Sorry about this, guys. Because I had it going, then I started the stream, and then it stopped going, and then I obviously wanted to turn it back on, and it wouldn't go again. So I don't. Yeah, I'll get this fixed, and then we have to put it back into compatibility mode, and there we go. All right. So firstly and foremost, we're talking about not AOC, man, that's the brand on the side of the thing here. We're talking about USB 3C. This is a KitGuru article, and basically there's going to be 9 different versions of USB 3C. Now, USB, as it has been, has had 3 connectors, essentially. Two connectors, 2 or 3 connectors. We've had A, which is the normal rectangle plug, as we all know and love. We've got the B connector, which was for printers, and I've only seen it on printers and upstream ports on monitors. There's USB 2 and USB 3 of those 2 plugs. Then there's Mini, 4 different types of connectors. There's Mini, which was only really USB 2, and USB 1.1, and USB 2 backwards, really. And then there was Micro, which was phones, laptops, tablets, that kind of thing. And then there was Micro USB 3 was obviously had the extended plug on it that catered for the extra ports and things like that. So only really 4 different connectors. I mean, we only really dealt with 3, really. I mean, Mini, USB type B for printers, and then Micro and A for everything, to plug everything else into. we didn't really deal with mini too much. I mean, back in the day, portable hard drives, card readers, cameras had mini, but not too many. So this is going to have 9 different connectors for USB 3C. Hopefully to be inherited. Now I thought, because USB 3C was like, oh, we've got one connector, and one connector is going to have the adaptive ability to be able to do anything. Because I thought they didn't have to reproduce plugs, they didn't have to reproduce cables, it would just sense what kind of information came out of the plug and you could do it. That's what I would thought, but it looks like there's going to be keyboards, there's going to be mice, audio, headsets and all that kind of stuff, storage, fair enough, that's already out. Networking. So you're saying that we could plug, I don't know why there's a different networking cable. Display, well, to me, I would have thought display was kind of like Thunderbolt, but we're going to get onto Thunderbolt in a minute later. And power, supposedly your phones and stuff will have it, so you can charge your phones. So, okay, so there's going to be 9 different potential uses for USB 3C. So you're thinking that it's going to be able, one cable is going to do that all. They are actually honestly planning to have different cables. So you could just pick up your phone cable, let's say, and go, oh shit, I forgot my USB 3C cable to plug into my monitor. I could just use it. It's not going to work. And that kind of pisses me off, because I thought, USB, the universal, my universal serial bus was going to be able to, it has all these capabilities of doing that, but it's obviously going to have a certain amount of pins active in certain cables and stuff to be able to have different compatibilities. And then they're saying that the commission behind USB 3C, or USB in a whole, says that independent hardware vendors are going to allow to have implement their own functional extensions via alternate accessory modules to differentiated products. They said, unfortunately, not all features are compulsory for every implementation. So that's what I was saying, if you wanted to buy a set of speakers, and it was a kind of a proprietary pin configuration, it wasn't the audio pins on the cables, like using data pins or using display pins, just for argument's sake, and you wanted to plug it in, and you couldn't use anybody else's cable. So that DRM sounds like another shenanigans going on around there. That pisses me off. And then there's Thunderbolt altogether, and also there's not all USB ports will be equal. There's USB 2 with PD enabled, power delivery, the 5 gigabits capable. Then there's USB 3.1 configuration. There's USB 3.1 with the 10 gigabit, the ultra speed, Superseed Plus, I should say. And then there's the multi-function cable, which is you can plug it into a hub, or you can have it. So you have to check what implementation you've got, because some of them may be USB 2. To me that just sounds far too complicated. So there's micro B and micro B with USB 2 and USB 3.1C. Then there's the mini B, and then there's C to B, and C to B, and then C to micro B. So it's just, so they're actually going to make plugs and stuff to support old cables and stuff like that. And then there's adapters as well, to C to micro B and C to A. Because there's already USB 3.1A on the market at the moment, and that's a thing. So basically, there'll be a whole lot of different connectors, a whole lot of different data transfer speeds and stuff. I think that's just going to make things far too confusing. Like, I'm not a big fan of that at all. And then it complicates things even further, folks, by having Thunderbolt 3. This page will load. There we go, Thunderbolt 3, which is obviously an Intel spec, and which has been demoed. We will close the ad. Which is going to be using USB 3C connector, and have all the functions of USB 3C, but it's going to have PCI Express capability, and also the Intel specific classic, protocols and stuff like that they're going to be using through Thunderbolt. So obviously the 100 watt charging, 15 watt device power, 40 gigabit connection speed, dual 4K displays at 60 Hz, and also it's going to be PCI Express capable. There's going to be hubs. This is what was on display with the different connectors off the hub through one cable. So you've got HDMI, you've got Ethernet, you've got DP, and you've got traditional USB 3 or USB 3.1 through the whole cable. So supposedly they're also showing a MacBook. Yep, that looks like a MacBook. Yeah, it looks like a proprietary device. Connecting up to that hub. Also connecting to an external graphics card. And a 1440p panel off the graphics card looping Unigine Heaven, which is no big deal. So that would be kind of interesting. They also have made a comment down here, which I'll read. This is a Hexus article that was demoed at IDF of 2015. It says, such external graphics cards could be very appealing to those who buy laptops for the ultimate portability, yet would like to have the option to game when they get back to base. I think I would prefer a thin and light Thunderbolt 3 laptop with a powerful external GPU option rather to heavy switchable graphics I own now. Thunderbolt 3 could mean an end to proprietary locked-in graphics amplifiers like those designed by Alienware. There's also one on MSI. I forgot what model of the MSI laptop, but Linus Tech Tips did an overview this year or last year, end of last year, where they talked about it actually as an external, and now it's actually external PCI Express dock you plugged your laptop into, and they had a built-in power supply and you plugged in your GPU into that. They made a Mark II, but as I said, this could be the end of that, hopefully, because it's got enough bandwidth, because the issues with before, because people were using earlier implementations of Thunderbolt, they were using USB, they were using they even, there was even people out there that were buying these really janky adapters and stuff like that were they plugged into the PCI Express times one port on your motherboard where your wireless card would plug into to run an external graphics card. You can I think I found them on eBay, and then I found them on this Asian website somewhere, and I think they've disappeared out of existence now, but if they're still around, that'd be kind of interesting. But this could be the end of that, which would be kind of cool. I mean, this laptop needs it. Because, it's got an i7, it's got 8 gigs of RAM, the GPU is just completely mediocre. Like, it's gig of GDDR5, but it's running at 4000 megahertz, it's got a really low, like 720 megahertz clock speed. It's just quite garbage, really. And that'd be kind of cool to have that, because the CPU is more than capable of running games. I mean, it's good. It's a 2.2 i7. That's enough for running games in today's, even probably in the future a little bit. But having an external Thunderbolt connection would be quite cool. So hopefully they don't make things so confusing, because that's what I was saying before about the USB 3C ports, is that, frick, who knows what's got. Are they going to tell you? They're just going to say it's got USB 3C. Wonderful. It could have USB 2 Type-C. Which that means it wouldn't do anything. All it would be is data transfer. I think it's got the power delivery system. It's got like 15 watts of power. But it would not. It wouldn't do anything else. Like, and then there's the, obviously USB 3C-A, which is currently available on, with the Intel. There's the Intel controller supposedly out, and then there's the ASMedia one, which is on everything at the moment, because Intel said they were going to reduce their costs of their things. The controllers, and ASMedia said they were too, to pick up expandability, but we don't know. I haven't seen any evidence of that at this point. So we'll move on to the next topic, which is AMD, because there's big news surrounding that lately with the R9 Nano. This is an eTechnics article, which has the. This is a very, very exciting graphics card, in my opinion. It is a ITX GPU, which has got one 8-pin power connector of 175 watt TDP. Specifications say it's got 4,096 cores, with 256 TMUs, 64 ROPs, and 4 gigs of HBM memory, which is almost exactly the same specs as the Fiji XT, or the Fury X, as everybody knows it as. This is all fit on this one card. It's air-cooled by a 90mm fan, 95mm fan, I think, and it's supposedly going to be 30% faster than the GTX 970 ITX edition, which that was quite a popular card for ITX people. But this is due for release at the start of next month. I think it's due to ship. There's pricing, which we'll go on to next article, but it's going to be an absolute monster to have that. It's going to have, the heat pipes. It's got the 4 gigs of RAM. It's got the vapor chamber cooler. This is the 970 and the UK 230 to 330 pounds. Because eTechnics is actually an Australian website, I thought, but obviously they were talking about pounds. So they're saying, will the Fury X get to this price? Well, I can confirm no. We do have an article next way around with benchmarks and pricing confirmation, which this was released. It says 1 minute ago, but it says a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure. So we'll move on to the KitGuru article, another KitGuru article. Thanks KitGuru for that. But we do have specifications, we do have benchmarks, and we do have pricing of this. So that's pretty cool. So we've got the 8.2 teraflops of computation performance, which is only 5% slower than the Fury X in terms of computational. Supposedly the Fury uses a 3,584 cores, which is a lot less than this card, which is 500. It's got 4,096 shaders, which is a little bit less than the Fury X, but more than the Fury. So it's actually going to perform more than the Fury, which is the air-cooled version of the Fury X with slightly cut down stuff, which is actually not much slower. You can overclock it, which is pretty crazy. So 175 watt TDP. They had benchmarks here. Maybe not. I don't know. It looks like they had benchmarks. So maybe I was looking at another article here, but they said they're going to have benchmarks, and it's going to be crazy. It says they're looking at a retail of $549 US, which is not as far out as the Fury X, which retails for $649. Which is the Fury and the Fury X. So it will be somewhere in between there. KitGuru says, keeping in mind that not all people are among enthusiasts like liquid-cooled systems, the Fury Nano may actually become more popular than the Fury X. Radeon R9 Nano will truly unique and it chances to become a bestseller. I hope it does. and I hope ITX systems all around the world have this card, because it would be absolutely amazing, and you're getting your best bang for your buck and the best size for your dollar. If you're talking about FPS per square inch or square centimeter, yeah, it's going to be the best. It's going to be the biggest. So that's absolutely nuts. So thanks, Kitgary. Yeah, I was going to look at benchmarks. We didn't actually have benchmarks here, so yeah. Last bit of AMD news before we move on to science and tech. We didn't. AOC, which is the brand of my monitor here, very good monitor. It has released FreeSync anti-blue light monitors for £99. £99? Yeah, £99. Which is a 22-inch monitor. It's not a 24-inch monitor. But the TN, they've got anti-blue light health conscious technologies, because supposedly blue light affects your eyes and your mind and stuff like that after extended periods of time. Supposedly there is statistics to say that does say that. So they've got a 21-inch and a 24-inch, both in the same form factor. They're saying this is the cheapest FreeSync monitors you can buy, which is supposedly there was some for £229 that was made by AOC back a couple of months ago in June. So it's pretty crazy that you're going to see something like this come to market. They are saying that you'll get frequencies between 48 and 76 Hertz. Whether that's the FreeSync value, we do not know. They're both 1080p, which is good. It's exactly what you want for such a monitor. DP, obviously, for the FreeSync stuff, and there'll probably be a gamut of other ports there too if you do need it. So that's pretty damn cool, actually. For me, I'm not sure I'll pick up one of these, but I was talking to Sapphire Ed about this recently, and he was saying that 24-inch monitors are the most popular. The 1080p is still the leading monitor resolution for the moment, and very few people have good enough hardware to exceed 1080p. So for a FreeSync monitor coming at this price, it'd be absolutely great to have that experience there. I'm not sure I'll give up my IPS for it, but definitely one to watch. And I've heard good and bad things about recent AOC monitors. I did see Keith May or Jack Lapeta's review of the AOC 4K monitor, and he was having issues with it. So there may be some discrepancies around that sort of thing, but that's pretty cool. That's the end of AMD news for the moment. We're at 37 minutes of the stream. I'll check the stream chat. There's nobody watching. A bit unfortunate for you people, but it's okay. So we're going to talk about Android and mirroring your devices, because I know firsthand about this sort of stuff, because we did do it at school. There's actually a program, the Google Developer Tools, you can use to sorry, a bit tired there. To emulate Android on your PC, but it is quite difficult. I tried installing Android on this laptop, and it basically killed it. I'm lucky I got it back. Oh, it is freezing a little bit because of damn eTechnics and Tweaktown sites. So basically, this is a wireless hypervisor that you can mirror your device on. I assume you can completely control it through your computer, which would be pretty cool. So Allcast creator and Visor has been created this program. So it is actually not wireless. Sorry, I thought it was wireless. Didn't read into the article too well. This is an Engadget article, by the way. And it says it can be displayed on a Windows, Linux, and Mac. All you need to do is hook up the device over USB and install the Chrome plugin, and you should be able to control your phone with your keyboard and mouse. They said it may have been intended as a developer tool, but keen Reddit users spotted the app while it was in private beta and shared it with the world. So anybody can indeed use it. That's pretty cool, actually, having that there, because I installed that on my laptop. It's pretty, because I mean, it's only recently that Android has had x86 support, and so I guess that's probably why it's been easier to do it. But yeah, it'd be cool to have your phone on your computer. Some of the stuff you can do. Obviously, there's Android TV boxes and stuff like that, but to be able to do it almost freely, that's pretty awesome to be able to. Because there's apps and stuff on your computer that you can't obviously use on, can't have on your phone and vice versa. So I guess it is quite cool that you can do it on a Mac or on a Linux machine as well. So that's awesome. It's good to see that somebody shared it and you can use it, and I might give it a go and give some feedback to the stream. Rahan P, thank you for joining in on the stream. Yes, you are the only viewer at the moment. Thank you for coming in. I'm due to finish up pretty soon, but definitely stick around until the end. But yeah, thanks for joining in, definitely. So that is the end of that article. I will now move on to another piece of science and tech. HAMR this is a Hexus article. HAMR, heating system magnetic recording. First, thank you very much for that. Tweet it out if you'd like, or share it. I'm quite happy to. My social media is down in the description and on the stream itself. Thanks for that. The Hexus magnetic recorder prototypes towards the end of next year, report Softpedia, are saying going to scale from 4 terabytes in 2016 to 100 terabytes in 2025, which is a while away for a 100 terabytes hard drive, considering Samsung's released a 16 terabyte SSD. Whether they will, because I have heard over the last while that they've actually spent a lot of money on these recording technologies and these disk platter technologies to actually be able to fit a lot of space on these hard drives, because just trying to keep them alive. People want to actually view these and use these, and trying to basically hinder the SSD community. But they're saying that 128 terabytes in 2018 will be for SSDs. They are claiming. I'll read some more of the article down further. So they're saying that they're gonna got tiny electrons that can fit in tiny molecules that actually changes the value of some of the stuff on the disk. So we're gonna move on to the SSD stuff. Croaky, put another strip on the Barbie. I don't know what you're talking about. I apologise. With the HMO prototype test due to start in a year or from now, mass-produced drives becoming limited capacity starting from 2018, Seagate will have a job on its hands to combat the first rise of SSD and storage capacities and adoption. Seagate will reportedly make new drives available to select cloud and hyperscale data center customers to begin with. Only a fortnight ago, the Flash Memory Summit, Toshiba and SSDs with 3D NAND capacities, which reached 128 terabytes of SSDs sometime in 2018. They're looking at that already. 128 terabyte SSDs already. So, that's the kind of a diagram there of how it works. I do not understand it at all. So if you do, good on you. But it's a Seagate who's looking at this technology. Seagate, I have come up to controversy in the past about SSDs. They don't actually make SSDs. That kind of concerns me a little bit, as they're trying to hinder the progress of SSDs. Toshiba's gone right ahead with that diagram here, because there was already 16 terabyte SSDs by Samsung and Toshiba, so they're looking at doubling that next year, and then the year after and the year after that, which is absolutely crazy. So they're only looking to 20 or 40 terabyte hard drives in about 10 years, just a little bit less than 10 years. So that could be an issue in terms of hard drive space. Unless they're really going to pick up the game, hard drives, I'm going to call it, may well be dead. So we're going to move on to the last topic, which is the SSDs that we just talked about in this article. Which is, you have dual 980s in your computer into Intel Xeon. Good on you. I mean, that's a good system to have. My 295X2, my computer's away at the shop at the moment, but it's definitely a good enough gaming computer there for that sort of stuff. We'll keep checking on the stream time. We've been going for 45 minutes. I will end with this article by Tweaktown, because we've actually used eTechnics and Tweaktown actually. Bit of variety with us all. So we've loaded it. Yep. So what we need to know about the Optane and 3D XPoint technology. This is Intel and Micron's new technology with SSDs. This is basically an expansion of 3D NAND as they have at the moment. Samsung was the first to pioneer that technology. And Intel's looking to do that as well with NVMe and with different materials and scalable NAND as well, a lot more scalable than it is at the moment, because you don't need, looks like controllers can stack. It looks like controllers can stack as well. I heard this, they talked about this a while back. It looks like they've actually officially announced this though, which should be pretty badass. So this is protect perpendicular wires in a cell by providing varying amounts of voltage to the selector. It can read and write to the cell. That's what it does at the moment. The benefit here is cells don't use transistors, and theoretically, depending on the size of the cell, you could squeeze much more into a given space than you could with the traditional transistors. Cells can be written and read at the same speed, since you can't find any point in space with 3 points of reference. Now 3D XPoint fills a spot in the current memory market between DRAM and NAND SSDs. Its latency is 10 times slower than DRAM, but 1,000 times faster than NAND. It's a simple technology compared to NAND SSDs, which are 10 times denser than DRAM. All the speeds and density aside, 3D XPoint also offers non-volatility, which means it can store data even when it's powered off. Which is, well, what's what they're trying to do, is trying to make very fast SSDs. So they're looking, the first generation will have 4 to 8 decks, and it looks like they're going to scale that even further. So they're looking at 5 to 7% performance of today's NAND-based devices with low latency. And it says electrically and physically capable DDR4 DIMMs. However, require Intel's next generation Xeon processors for it to work properly. So they're actually going to be able to use DDR4 RAM as cache for the SSD. That's pretty crazy. It's going to require, that's the 3D XPoint technology, which will use the NAND as its cache, as the RAM as its cache. Just look at the photo here. So it's going to write back cache. So it will use the RAM as a scratch disk essentially. The next generation Xeons will support it. Suppose there's going to be a lot of new stuff for the Xeons, the next Skylake Xeons. So if I can find anything on that, I will endeavour to talk about that next week. But that was Tweaktown, and that's basically all I can understand from this. We read down to the bottom of the article, so that's really cool. That's awesome. Thank you very, very much for coming out. The 2 or 3 people who came out and watched. I appreciate your support. Sorry that there's not many other people that did. If I can't find any topics for next week, I will indeed give it the big no deal and cancel the show, the HDD show. But I will get on to some gaming if I get my computer back at that time. So thanks very much for that. Thanks Theo for retweeting. I'm actually just about to finish the show. So cheers for coming out. As I said, I will either cancel the show, depends if I can find any topics. If I can't, I will I'll cancel it. If I can, I will do it, and we will hopefully have a show and some gaming next week, as I assume to have my computer back. No after show today with games. As I said, my laptop is just nobody can indeed play a game and stream on this laptop, unfortunately. I would like to. I don't think Star Wars would even stream, so yeah, that's exactly what has been happening. So thank you very much, and I will very much so, really hopefully, catch you